Well, hello everybody. I am here in the dark and I'm about to try and change that a little bit. And there's some light. And there's the rest of my light. So I am going to be, I don't know, doing something. Getting ready to go to Nanny's later with Karen and Chase. They're just waiting for a delivery that could be anywhere between 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I am now just gonna play around with makeup because I put up the shelves yesterday. I got a lot of the stuff accomplished that I was going to. I still have a lot of stuff here to put away, but I don't know. It just gets boring doing that stuff. So I want to play around and have some fun while I can. So I am just putting on my pore filler by NYX. That's what I use sometimes. I don't use all of these things all the time. But by trying things sometimes and not other times, you get to really see what difference it makes for you. And if it doesn't make enough of a difference, take that step out. But I do have on my nose, I have now I put the pore filler in, so you can't see them, which is good. It means it's working. But I have very big pores on my nose, very big open pores. And if anything gets in them, any dust, any dirt, any makeup, it ends up being like it really shows. It just ends up getting like little dark dots all over the place. So that's that. I wonder if pore filler under my eyes. Never done that. I may regret this, but this is what I do. Experiment. See if the pore filler under my eyes is going to create more or less crevices. Well, looking at it just that way, it looks good. Or better. Good is relative. What I consider good, other people go, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Why would you even leave the house looking that way? But it's all very subjective. And the only person that you have to make happy is yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else is thinking or saying or doing. And I'm going to go in with my Garnier 5-in-1 BB cream. Because I haven't tried this over top of the pore filler. Like, can you see? Like, does it show some of the pores? See, I've got a big pore right there. Like a particularly big pore. Now, I don't know if this will moisturize through the pore filler. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of stuff in different orders, or if I put this on, I don't usually do the other things. So I'm not sure what is the most necessary. But it does seem to make a big difference when I use the pore filler first and then these other things. Because that's basic skin. No, I have no foundation on or anything. So let's go in and do some foundation. Now, the two foundations that I tend to choose between is this Infallible by L'Oreal, the 24-hour fresh wear, or I use the Revlon 3 times age defying one. And the tones are both different, as you can tell. Like, they're very different from each other. And I find they both work okay for me. I'm satisfied with them, but I don't know. There could be a lot of things that work better. These are just the ones that I found that I like. So I just put like one little glob on the back of my hand. I know there's people that put a lot on there. I do not. put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I dip my sponge into just the edge of it. And I kind of work that around again into the edge and over here. This way I find I don't put so much on, because if you have, well, I'm going to assume it's because I have older skin. I have more creases and wrinkles and all kinds of things like that. And if you put on too much, it will build up and emphasize some of those. So a lot of times I don't even end up using all that I've allotted to use. But I have seen people on videos where they just take and they actually squirt the whole thing there and blend it in, and or they take the brush and swirl it around, and then they're just putting, bunches on every area of their face. Now, I don't think I need any more than that at all for what I've done, right? And I sit there and I just take a little bit and make sure it's on my ears, any exposed skin that way. Because I have a beard, I don't have to worry about my neck, but otherwise, make sure you don't just create a mask or a line, go everywhere, blend it all in. But then I always have this little bit left on the back of my hand. So what I always do there is I sit there and I take my hands and I rub them together this way. And that way, the back of my hands and everything will always match my face. And you're not wasting things. So it's always useful that way. So now I'm going to take a primer for my lids. And I don't know what primer I want to use today. Maybe the Lise Watier. I have the Art Deco as well. They're different toned. Right? So I'm just going to use my finger. And something over here. And use my finger. Now you could use a brush if you really want to. I find my finger does the easiest job, but when you're used to using your fingers for things, your fingers sometimes get stuff on them. And then you'll take that finger thinking it's clean and you'll go and do something else and realize that you just mucked up everything that you just did. Now, I think I want to put on some, let's see, do I want to do it that way? Or I'm going to take a slant brush and do it with some shadow. So going with my Pure Defense palette, and I'm just going to take this brownish color, this one right here, and I'm just going to draw some eyebrows. Normally I just use a little bit of my, like I have a little eyebrow, well, I want to call them pencils, but they're not really pencils. They are, they've got like the little tip on them and it's liquidy. And you can draw little individual hairs. I always end up having to stop talking when I'm drawing my eyebrows because I end up needing to concentrate. I don't want it too harsh in the center, so I'm just going to take what's left on my pencil here, or on my brush, and kind of go in that way. Keep it a little bit softer. You know, when in doubt, I chew with my voice. I don't know why I do that. I've only recently caught myself. There's things I see if I look back at the videos. I'll catch myself making sounds or doing things, or the faces where, you know, and I don't notice it. I don't notice it while I'm doing it. I just notice it after the fact. So let's see. Now I'm gonna try going in with this concealer underneath the brow, and the same thing over here. And then I'm just going to take my sponge so I can leave a little highlight under the brow and somewhat clean it up all at the same time. So there's that part done. So I'm going to take a little pause and I will be right back. Okay, so I haven't decided specifically what colors or anything that I want to use yet. But I do think I'm going to use my I Love the World palette and find, I don't know, a transition color to put on that's going to go with this burgundy. And then I just did this sort of black, crystally necklace. So I think this is really hard. Like trying to come up with I don't know if people realize that this palette has I can't even show the whole palette. There we go. So many color options that it is really hard for me to decide what I want to wear. So I think, I don't know if that's a good choice or not. So let's see what that does. Let's see. Okay, so it's a metallic in a pinky purple color, which isn't necessarily what I want to put on there, I guess. But it is what I've chosen, so it is what I'm going with today. And then we're going to see how well that works, making those kind of color choices out there. See, it shows a lot, but only when the light hits it a certain way. Again, not hating this. Not hating it at all. So I'm just going to try and keep blending that and softening the edges. I'm not putting any more product on there because I think that is really all I'm going to want out in that area because it really does show. And if I do it too much, that's how I end up when I do purplies and blues and things like that. I end up with things that look like bruises. So, let's see. What if I were to put that out here? It's sort of burgundy looking, and I'm kind of wearing some burgundy. So I thought I can do burgundies and or blacks are all okay. Because later today I'm going with Karen to Nanny's. She has some things to pick up on the way. There's sort of silicone molds that are for ice cubes or, chocolate making. I really do love these colors, though. They're just so much fun. I don't know how many people out there have fun with their makeup. To me, there's no other reason to wear it other than to have some fun with it. Now I'm going to take a smaller, my little packing brush, and I am going to do sort of the same things. So I think I'm going to take this color and I'm going to do that more in the center here. Because I do like, for myself personally, always having lighter color in the corners of the eyes because it makes my eyes look a little bit further apart. So I'm just going to go in and maximize this. So we can see the difference already where the eyes get pushed a little further apart. Let's see, and maybe I should take that same packing brush there and do the burgundy at the back there. It's not really a burgundy, I'm just calling it that. And I think maybe, do I want to pack a little bit more of that color in there? So, yes. Now I do want to try and add a little brown. I'm going to use my card trick to add a little brown in there. And I think I'm going to use brown with some shimmer to tie things in. I'm just going to do it down here. And see how that works. Worked very well to me. And take some more. Oh, went the wrong way. Oh, I'm going to regret that. Because that's going to just pile a line right under here, see? As opposed to this soft line. So can I just kind of try to make them match a little first? Yeah, and then I'm going to bring that in. Bring that in. So that worked out not too badly. But now that means I need to take my little packing brush and take that same sort of sparkly brown and bring that in here. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to put that on hiatus right now while I go in with my bronzer. The one that I've been using lately is the Almay. I don't know, there's something else, some other word there that I can't read. Okay, so that part is done as well. And I am now going to move on to, maybe I should put on lashes first. I'm going to put on lashes and then we'll be back. Okay, so the eyelashes are attached. I'm just going around now and just kind of cleaning up some glue when the glue gets out of place. So if you wait for it to dry, you can sort of scrape it off where you really don't want it to be. Just be careful you don't pull your eyelashes right off with it. But sometimes these are the issues that we have when we're doing these things, right? We end up with, see, like a little errant glue when I was squishing it down there. But just be gentle and take your time. Yeah, see, gone. Like, it's really not that complicated to do if you don't rush and you don't panic. And I'm just going to make sure, a little bit on this side too. I'm going to just make sure those things are attached. And I'm going to go with my mascara underneath that, because these are actually cheap, cruddy lashes. I'm not really concerned about these lashes. When I'm playing around with things, I don't always use my best stuff. Because you never know how that's going to turn out in the long run. So you can see my lashes under there. But I'm going to go with my kohl liner. So that's a little bit better. Now, I have not done any contouring or anything of my nose, so I think I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of that with my slightly bigger packing brush. And I think I want to go in with, I'm going to go in with that one. It's a little bit lighter, and we'll see what that's going to do for us. Now, take the light color. Maybe I want something even smaller for this. See if I can make that work. Oh, sure, cool. And let's see, blend that a little bit. See if I can make it look less like a dirty nose and more like it's a little bit like a dirty nose. But that's okay. I'm not perfect. Just using the little bit of blush that's already on the brush. I didn't feel like adding any more. But that's what I've got for there. So now I just have one more thing to do, and that is find some good glittery product to put on. And I think I want to go with the Lise Watier in the gold. I think that's what I'm going to do, which is this one here that I have. I am so obsessed with glitters. Whether I should be or not is another story. So I'm going to take this and put it in the center like it's a halo eye. And now I'm going to take this glitter. It's sort of a rose gold is what it is. It's the one I spilled all over my computer keyboard when I didn't want to. And I was using it off of there for the longest time, but then, you know, it gets covered in dust. So I'm going to see about putting some. just under my eye there. And see. So that is what I've done for there. And I'm just going to take my flat packing brush again, and I'm just going to push this in. Because it's not going to stay where I put it anyway. Yes. So now I think I'm going to try my concealer under my eye. Oh, that's a lot. I think Denise calling me. It is. So I will be back. Okay, so we are back, and I've decided that I think that's really all I want to do on that today. Does it show? Does it show? Now, I'm probably going to have to do some work on this hair. It's pretty ratty at this point, but in the meantime, I think this might be the hair that I want to wear today. I'm just not positive. Oh, see, it's all caught and everything else. I don't know, maybe this is going to take too much work to make this ready for today, but that is the somewhat look for today that I'm going with after I fix up my hair. But I'm